It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Good morning. Welcome to it. If you've just woken up, where you been, man? No, we are out the gates and having a blast this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Time now to delve into our relationship talk. And this morning we're discussing a pretty intriguing topic, getting to know your partner's friendship circle and the dynamics of having your romantic partner be close with your friends. Alarm bells. What are the potential benefits, the challenges, and the overall impact on relationships?
This is very, very exciting. It's like almost juicy, but remember, this is all about education and unpacking. So registered counsellors. We've got Shanaz Moesu is here, as well as Sadia Southgate. We're going to make sure that you are well equipped with all the insights that you need. In fact, talking about insights into your partner's friends, first of all, welcome. It's so lovely to have both of you on this couch. It's nice because there's my friends there.
I know,
right?
exactly.
All exposed.
Free of charge as well.
It.
I've got to ask you personally, has this been tricky waters for you, Shanaz? Did you struggle with this kind of blending of families? How did you feel going through that phase of introducing your husband to your family and vice versa?
Okay, I agree. You know, Graham, if you have the friendship factor before, then the person's known already, which is what I had going for me. There was no hint of romance in the beginning, like 4 years later. And by then I've revealed my entire life story, all my down stuff. So there was really no hiding the stuff, you know. Normally you have this courtship phase where you can put your best self forward. Your pretend self, sorry.
Your pretend self.
Yeah.
But in a friendship dynamic, you just you, and you don't think anything more is going to happen. So, yeah, I kind of messed it up, but also won in the end.
Yeah, I was going to say, fly under the radar. That's quite nice. I like that.
You said 4 years now.
Yeah.
Okay, but Sadia, here's the thing about friend circles, okay? How important is it to actually accept these friends? Because sometimes friends reveal themselves a lot later. You know, you do get friends like, oh, my word, no, man, yet she was a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And then things kind of get unpacked slowly but surely.
Special friend.
No, but normal friends, you know? So I just wanted to know, how important is it for a relationship to thrive with a significant other? Is there a big impact about, you know, around accepting friends?
Yeah, I definitely agree there is a big impact because our friends is considered as our family. And, you know, as we saw yesterday, family is everything, excuse me. And even with noticing that family is everything, if we don't get along with our partner's friends, it could be potentially a breakup because it's one of the big things that we value because, again, it comes down to we value friendships. They might as well just be our family. And, you know, we share the same values and interests. We mimic each other's behaviors, you know. So at the end of the day, if we or our partners aren't getting along with our friends, it gets to that point where we decide to leave.
Our friends form us. I mean, I heard a stat that we are basically the average of the people that we grow up with, which makes a lot of sense to me when I look at my idiosyncrasies and where that all comes from. Thanks, guys. Shot mates.
You're welcome.
I relied so much on my friends, certainly growing up. They've influenced me. This gives you an opportunity to look into your partner's world, kind of see them as they are in their natural habitat. Why is it important to see your partner, if it's potentially a long-term partner, engaging and interacting with their friends?
I think that when you have that bond with friends, you're more relaxed. And there may be a version of yourself that comes out when you're around your friends that your partner may not have seen and be like, hey. And there's also the past, you know, the shared past that they have with you.
All the light and shade.
So your partner's in the now, but the friends have come back from the beginning, way back. So there's versions of you that only they know. So there's an insight that they have to offer to the partner about who you were and who you are now.
I love that.
That is very intriguing. But now here's a dynamic. I like curveballs. Sorry, Sadia. But let's just say if you see that your partner has a friend that is a bad influence, you know, somebody who enjoys certain behaviors and you can
Why are you looking at me, Sadia?
I saw that. Why are you looking at him? That only happened once. Anyway, so what do you do then as a partner? I mean, do you have a leg to stand on when this person sometimes knows the friend longer than they know you as their partner? Like, do you have a leg to stand on to actually intervene and say, hey, I think this is a bad influence? I mean, are you setting yourself up for the, I've known him for 18 years, what are you talking about?
My
like,
brother.
yeah, exactly. So how do you navigate that?
Yeah, I think the easiest answer is you flee the country or you move to a different country.
Next question.
You know, but it comes down to, you know, the fact that you understand that there will be seasons where you outgrow each other, and that's okay. But it also, you know, not just do you outgrow each other, you come down to knowing that, you know, there's maybe some toxic friendships that you do have, and only later on in life do you recognize that. So it's important that you are also open to the change and navigation of the relationship, because your relationship can be impacted by toxic friendships. So it's just important to kind of clarify, this is the vision and the relationship that, or the goals that we have for our relationship. And if anybody goes against it, then unfortunately they need to be eliminated in a more subtle and gentle way.
Eliminated.
Eliminated. We've got to get out of here. Get out.
We'll be back. Yeah. Okay, well, then I was gonna ask a question about what if that friend is a female friend or a male friend. I'm not even gonna go there right now. I'm gonna give us time to stew on that one. We are talking relationships this morning and meeting your partner's friends.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back as we continue our conversation around connecting with your partner's loved ones, particularly their friendship circle. As they say, our friends are the family we choose, but they really must be seen as family. So, Sadia, you dodged a bullet with this one. I'm going to throw it straight out to you. And Shanaz and Sadia, thankfully, have hung around to get into the saucy topic a little bit deeper. What happens if that friend is of the opposite sex, and this potentially could be a threat to you, or at least makes you feel threatened? How do you handle that kind of situation if there's a very close friendship and it does make you uncomfortable?
Yes, I love that question, because it's actually a very common thing that happens
must happen all the time,
in relationships, especially if there's a lifelong friendship that has developed before the relationship. But it's important that you are open and have these honest conversations with your partner before. And for example, if you are considering to have a hangout with your friend, have the conversation with your partner and also prioritize your romantic relationship above the friendship, because that's what's important, and it comes down to that, you know, because at the end of the day, it can cause insecurity in the relationship. It can cause mistrust, and also just, you know, the partner just decides that they don't want to be there anymore because it's just too much. So it's important to bear that in mind, and also just to prioritize your romantic relationship above the friendship.
And you know, life has seasons, and if you're moving into that season of your romantic life, you have to make your partner front and center. It just works like that. That being said, the partner does come with a little bit of baggage in the form of parents and siblings, and we are here for that. That's part of the blending process. We love it. How do we tactfully, when we are being introduced, when we are entering into that space, how do we approach this when it comes to parents? What, as a partner, should we be doing when meeting our partner's family and parents and trying to integrate, if you will?
I think that also, you know, an awareness about who the person is will help that first meeting going well. So you're not going to introduce your parents to someone you've never spoken about, that they know nothing about. So it's kind of, you warm up the whole situation, like a preamble to the meeting.
Show some photos first, a video.
Yeah, both sides. Tell your partner about your family, your parents particularly, and talk to your parents about your partner, so that everyone's prepared for, you know, what could, and have a preset. You can't ask these questions, you can't show these photos, don't go there.
Yeah.
And also meet somewhere that is not going to be too awkward. Don't do a big family event. If you just want to meet
It's starting
the
to sound
parents,
like a date, man. This is starting to sound like a date.
something small and intimate and cozy and with a fun element is more relaxing to meet the parents, if possible.
And just think about it. I mean, you know your family. You know the pressure points. You've lived with them. You know the kind of things they're going to strike. So unless you're wanting to push those buttons, which I think some young people out there might want to do, you know, approach with caution. How much of a big thing must we make it when meeting the siblings? Because your sibling is kind of your best friend for life. There is something about that relationship that almost dominates all others, because they'll be with you for your adult life. They kind of almost transcend the role that your parents play in that degree. How do we set that up? And as a partner coming into that, how should we be feeling about meeting the siblings?
It's a very important question, because again, you know, our family and our parents and siblings also make up who we are. So essentially, they're not just meeting a part of us, but they're meeting, you know, our past, our childhood, and everything. So at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, and it's us being open to navigating through that with our partners, because we're not just introducing them to, oh no, I've just met you now for the past 3 months or 6 months, but even navigating through that, it takes an average 6 months for us to actually get comfortable with our partners. So my suggestion is, don't rush it.
Sure.
Just kind of take your time and ease through it, and it's important that that goal is established.
And dip your toe in. Just take it easy, and you can go back into your little relationship bubble and get stronger in that space. What if you can't, struggle to come to terms with a family member, a sibling, a parental figure in your partner's life? How do you navigate that if you can see, boy, we are just not going to be able to connect? How do we deal with that?
I think the first thing is to decide, like, is it an opinion? Like, where's it coming from?
Is it your own baggage?
Did this person just rub you the wrong way? You know, what is it? And sometimes it isn't always necessary to share that with your partner in the beginning, because they will feel like now they must choose. You've upset me, you've said something, or you've brought something into the light. Yeah, so it's more like, what is it that this person does to me, and where is it coming from? Or is it just me? Because you don't actually know in the beginning. Like Sadia said, it takes about 6 months to truly get to know someone. You shouldn't be introducing anyone to anyone until you and this person are fully comfortable and know that there's a connection here where let's include other people. Sure. So it's about knowing when it's time, because when you add other people too soon, their opinions will influence how you feel about this person, where you were all in and now you're like, they don't...
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Well, they've been that for you. That's the thing. They've been there to guide you, to warn you, to pick you up after the disastrous relationships. They know you probably better than yourself. I always think of it like a little seedling, a relationship just protected from the wind and the rain and from the hail for as long as you possibly can. Exes. Now, very often, because you've walked this path with an ex, you become, and I'm thankfully quite good friends with a lot of exes. I don't see them socially because that just doesn't feel comfortable to me. For a lot of people, that's not the case. They form your closest friendship circle. And I've seen it work and I've seen it fail. What's your advice in this space?
Advice would be to do what works for you and your partner.
And your partner.
Yes, and a lot of the time we just focus on ourselves and say, no, you know, I've been friends with this ex for a long time, it's okay, but this insecurity is coming from your partner as well. And again, it comes down to just recognizing how it's making your partner feel more than how it's making you feel.
For sure. I always think like the shoe on the other foot, just how would it make you feel if you were put in that position? But I can tell you right now, these sorts of challenges, it's an opportunity for you to rewrite your script, to set up your relationship in a way that your kids don't have to take all of your baggage. They can start to form their own idea about relationships. But I'll tell you one thing, and this is the most important. Couples who train together, stay together.